Hello. I am here. Cannot hear my headphones though. Think we can fix that. There. Super weird. I don't know why that happened. Let's hop over here. And now we're magically good to go. Listen, Garrett, I reset my computer and my router before I started this, and it was still like, nah, dog. I don't want to do anything. So now we're back to normal. So hopefully this should work. I'm just gonna try something out real quick. Oh, do I have to do these individually? Oh, that's annoying. I downloaded some LUTs from Ethan J Design, so I want to throw those in. Let me read the instructions. I think I have to do these individually. Oh well, alright. So, whatever, we are back. We're good to go. We are going to make a sweet Chase Claypool design. So, got a little bit of an idea of what I want to do. We're going to play around with some lighting, play around with some glass morphism, and we're going to see what happens from there. So, I've got, as usual, some images of Chase Claypool. So I've got a couple images in here. I'm just going to dump all this stuff into this file. So I've got one photo that I edited pretty heavily. Photoshop doesn't know what to do. There we go. So I got the Steelers logo. I got a photo of him looking back like this. I got a photo like this. I got a photo of him running that's already clipped out. And I've got this really dope photo of him as well. So I don't really, we're gonna do some funky stuff with this. Oh, hey Dean, what's up? Good evening, I should say. So first thing I want to do is I want to set up my composition. So what I want to do with this graphic is I want to do some sort of glass morphism, which we talked about in my Bradley Beal graphic design I made. But we did that all in Cinema 4D, so I'm going to try and do it in Photoshop instead. So I have a general idea of how I sort of want to do that, but I want to set up the composition first. So I had an idea for what I wanted to do with the composition. We're going to hop in here real quick. We're going to cut this photo of Chase Claypool out, and we don't have to be too exact with it. Because what we're going to do is we're just going to use this as a background, as like a mask. That's just been something I've been liking from people and seeing, is using a player as a background mask for like the city, or sort of a double exposure deal, but not really. So we'll just go in here and we will cut this guy out. Like, this doesn't matter, like what I'm doing right here, because you're not gonna be able to see this. It's just gonna be for the background, but we're gonna show it anyway because that's what we like to do. Let's do this. Appreciate you getting all your UK folks to come in here, Dean. It's the wrong football for them, but you know. What's up, Elijah? I live in Ohio, and you said Ohio, so I didn't know if you're trying to make an Ohio reference, or if you were saying Ohio. You just want to avoid Nightbot, so I understand. Man, these bots are on it on YouTube. Like, the 3-minute video of this breaking already has a comment of someone trying to like go to this dumb website that doesn't exist. So we'll just go in here. It doesn't have to be exact. This I really want to be loose with, and really I'm spending a little bit more time on it than I need to. I'm going to smooth this out a little bit more. What's up, Dan? You remembered it's Tuesday. Welcome, welcome. All right, so we'll save this, except we can't save it because it's in the Photoshop folder, so I'm just going to save it to my desktop as a large format document. For no reason, replace contents. What is up, everyone? All right, let me hide everything. All right, so we got this Chase Claypool here. I wonder if I want to make this not 4x5. I usually make everything 4x5. This might work, actually. Okay, so I want this to be a different color, so I'm going to add a color overlay to this. I want the color overlay to be the yellow of the Steelers logo, so let's turn that back on and blow it up. Oh, there's a ton of people about sports design. There aren't many people who do... There's a lot of people you can learn from. I don't think there are a lot of people who are doing like YouTube videos like me on the regular. Why did I hide that? But that's because it's super niche, so people, you know, I'll get you 20 great people to come watch me every week. People don't want to waste their time on it because they're not going to get their millions of views like Benny Productions, who does great stuff. Okay, so I already hate how this looks, so that's a good way to start a design. Let's do something else instead. What do we want to do? What do we want to do? 24 viewers now, yes. All right, so let's open up this photo here, because I've got this super awesome photo I edited. Already did the edits. I'll go over what I did in a little bit. Let's select the subject first. Let's select and mask. Let's hit some buttons to prove that you shouldn't hit these buttons. There's a refine hair button. I'm gonna hit that. And you can see it just completely breaks everything. Yeah, I'm going to... I have an idea of what I want to do with the Steelers logo. But I don't know what I want to do with everything around it. That's the problem. So let me do that first. Here's what we're going to do. I keep jumping around. All right, here we go. We got the Steelers logo here. I'm going to move it over. I'm going to blow it up just a little bit. I'm going to put it here. I want to see how I can set up this composition. So I've got him looking this way, looking to the right. So if I have a heavy composition on the left, we're good with that. So I can go like this. So let's start with that. I appreciate all you guys exposing each other in the chat. Hey Oliver, welcome. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm going to make this a new smart object, make this a new smart object, and make this a new smart object. I could probably just do this once, but I'm gonna do it a bunch. Then we're gonna open up Illustrator here. And what I'm gonna do is I'm going to apply some glass techniques to each of these individually and see how it looks. Dan's out here with fire jokes. We got more exposure in here than the Photoshop side panel. Let me load up my funny things. So what I'm doing here is I'm basically splitting up the Steelers logo. So I'm gonna highlight, copy this, paste it, save it, load it, check, quick rewrite it, touch it, paste it. I could probably just copy this one, to be honest, because they're all the same. Dan, you love to have fun in these chats. I will say, when you are in here, there are definitely a lot more comments and there's a lot more chit chat during the stream, which I'm completely okay with. All right, so these are slightly different. It could be this bad EPS file I have. Save that, put it here. I don't need this anymore. Open up this one. And let's just take this one. Take the Steelers, go like that. Okay, so now we got a bunch of broken things, which is completely fine. Let's just kind of like fake the funk here. Not 100% certain what the Steelers logo is supposed to look like. That looks pretty good. Maybe we move this up a little bit. Move the Steelers over like that. We might not even need it. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do some glass techniques to this. And a lot of this isn't going to show or affect until we have something behind it. So we're going to use this photo of Chase just for now. So glass morphism is something I wanted to try, and we tried a little bit of it with our Bradley Beal design. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply this all to 1, and then we can apply everything to it later. So these are going to be on the upper top of the design. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate this Chase Claypool photo. I'm going to drop it on top of this. I'm going to give this a drop shadow so we can see what we're talking about. And that already kind of looks cool. Drop, drop, drop. So we've got a drop shadow. I got some layers over here. Glass morphism is your favorite Power Ranger. Hilarious. So what we want to do is we want to make this shape look like glass. So the way we're going to do that is we're going to apply a bunch of stuff to this smart object. But we're also going to have some stuff down here. So we're going to give it a bevel and an emboss. And we're going to want that to be from the top area. I'm going to set the settings to 66 and 66 just for now. The inner bevel, we can do whatever we want. Now, it really depends on how we want it to look. Do we want to look like it's a hard cut edge, which I think we might do. And then I'll increase the screen on that just a little bit. Angle, let's just use some nice round numbers. Have it look like that. That looks good. I'm going to check contour just because. Why? I don't know. And then let's give it a stroke. We're going to give it a stroke on the inside. I don't have my usual gradients on here. First I make Brad crack. They smile wins. I should just smile for you, Garrett, and then have you win automatically. Alright, so I'm going to set this to overlay. I'm going to change this gradient to a standard black and white gradient, but I'm going to want the white to be white and white, and then I'm going to change the opacity to 0. If you smile, I'm going to smile because that's funny because you're not going to do that. All right, so we've got this piece of glass here, as you can see. And I'm just going to play with this drop shadow. I want it to have more depth, so I think that looks a little bit better. And I don't like 90, I want 120. So everything's coming from 120. So let me hit some buttons, Command Z. So I'm going to apply all of this to these layers as well. So we've got the glass here. But it doesn't really look like glass, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this chase layer a little bit bigger. So it's giving it a little bit of a zoom. And then we're going to do some effects to it. So I'm going to first blur it with a Gaussian blur, or Gaussian. I'm going to hit 5, maybe 3. 3 looks good. So it looks even more like a piece of glass that's on top. But then we're actually going to go up and we're going to go to the filter gallery, which is something I never do. Because why would you use default filters on things? You know, I've already got glass queued up here. So I'm going to zoom out so we can see what this is doing. Or zoom in zoom in a little bit. So what we're doing is we're going to distort it with a glass. So instead of when I tried to do this before, I was like, oh, well, you really need to like have a displacement map to change it. You can just have it use this glass tool. And there's a bunch of different textures you can do. You can do a block, which looks like, you know, those blocks at like a rec center, which is not what I want. You can do canvas, which is a nice canvas texture. They have tiny lens, which is actually pretty cool because it gives you this sort of soft ripply texture. But I'm gonna go with frosted. And I have the scale set to 50. What if it's 100? 100's not bad. So really just play around with these settings to see what we like. I've got the distortion low on 1. The lowest you can go is 0, but that gets rid of it, so I want 1. And then the smoothness we can play around with if we want. So I'm just going to do 2. And now this looks even more like a piece of glass that's sitting on top of it. So that's good. That's what we wanted. Alex, you're asking, have I tried the super resolution yet? Does it even do anything? So let's do that real quick. I think the super resolution, we'll try it out. Let's hop into neural filters. So we got skin smoothing, JPEG artifact removal, smart portrait. We have super zoom. Is this what you're talking about? I don't even have it on here yet. So we can do this. So let's zoom the image 3 times. We'll see what this does. I think the reason I haven't played around with that is because it rasterizes everything. But we'll see how long this takes and see what this does. As you can see, the wheel's just spinning, so we'll just sit here waiting. The problem is it zooms in. Oh, it's in camera raw? I don't know what you're talking about. Let's pop open camera raw. See, I don't know what you're I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about. Oh, is it one of these things over here I've literally never clicked on? No? I don't think I've ever clicked on any of this stuff over on the right. Whatever. We'll go back to what we were talking about. We'll go here. So we've got our glass here. I think it looks pretty good. I might want to tweak the stroke just a little bit. Just change the opacity of this bottom to like 50%. Oh. Okay, Garrett. But no, I have not tried it. Okay, let's do a save. You know, like good people. Chase Claypool. Ben, you're asking, you've been offered a design at Northeast Community College Athletics Department Designs. You graduate in May. Should you take the job? This could help you get in the door with bigger schools. That is true. It could help you get in the door for bigger schools. I think it all just depends on your situation. You know, I think it's probably a good job to take out of college. Anything is good to have right out of college. I did car dealership design for 6.5 years, so that sounds better than what I did. I might wait until after you graduate and just see what other offers you might get from places or what other jobs open up. A lot of the jobs, I believe, the problem with a lot of the jobs is they switch over in like February and March. So we've already hit a big period of people switching over jobs. If you've been on Twitter, you know, everyone posting their I got a new job designs, or I got a new job, no, designs, yeah. So what I want to do to sell this glass a little bit more is I want to add a little bit of some glass texture to the top of it. So I'm going to toss that on top of that, and I'm going to set that to screen. Because no glass is this perfect. So now we've got some glass and we've got some rough stuff on it. Maybe I want to set that to color dodge. It's going to look more realistic. So I think that looks sweet. Luca, I did go to college. I went to Sinclair Community College, actually, and then I went to the University of Dayton to finish out and get my bachelor's degree there. Alex, it depends on the person. A lot of times you might see people in a position where they feel they can get more ahead somewhere else, or they get better pay somewhere else, so then they'll go to a different job quicker. I know that's a lot of people are. The issue with jobs, and Adam Martin said this in a clubhouse the other day. He said that in our position, it's sort of like we're used to, it's a race to the bottom with pay. You know, a kid out of college would love to go work, say, for the Steelers. You know, they would love to go work for the Steelers, and they might go work there for less than, say, I'm willing to make there, and they can pay them dirt cheap because the want for someone to work there is going to be good. So then everybody's pay, you know, lowers across the industry because they can pay someone straight out of college super cheap. But it all depends. The industry's getting better, which is good. And I'm not saying that the Steelers are going to pay you cheap. I just know I've applied for some design jobs at colleges, and the pay has been super. It was less than what I was making doing car advertising. So I went and I applied for some of those jobs, but I didn't get the jobs because I think I asked for too much money. And that happens now. I mean, that'll happen now. That's very weird. Like, there's a couple jobs I applied to where I didn't get the job, and I equated it to I asked for too much money, because everything comes down to money. Okay, so what I want to do is I'm just adding here a little bit of a screen layer of this background gray I like to use, and that's just going to make the top a little less opaque than the bottom. So I'm just going to do that to all of these, setting it to screen. Because when I set it to screen, it's just going to... basically what it's going to do is it's just going to show the amount of white that's in that. So we've got a good start to some of this. I think we've got some nice looking sharp glass texture. Dan's got a piece out. He's got a big talk tomorrow he's got to go prep for. Got to go take some CBD gummies to go, you know, get a good night's sleep probably. Wake up with a nice tea. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw a lens overlay on this. I'm going to throw that on top of these because I want to look like it's sort of refracting some light. So I'm going to set this to screen. And I've got like this light sort of refracting off of it, which is cool. And these are some lighting effects that I found online. I forget where I found these specifically, but if you look around online, you can find some good stuff some websites have for free pretty often. This was one of the freebies. It was these lighting effects. Luke, I don't have any good recommendations on an actual college for design. There are your blue bloods. You know, there's RISD, the Cincinnati, there's DAP, the design and architecture program at Cincinnati. I mean, I went to a community college, it's a pretty nice community college. I had a scholarship to go there. And then I went to the University of Dayton, and when I went there, it's more about the people you align yourself with when you're in college. If you align yourself with people who want to be at school all the time and get better, that's going to be better. Alex, is it... Hold on. This keeps going away. Save. What's up, Juan? Alex, going to college is going to be a case-by-case basis. You can teach yourself, but I'm almost guarantee there's stuff that you can't teach yourself that you would learn if you went to college. I know there's people that, like, I went to college and I went further in college because I knew I needed more work. I knew how to use Photoshop, but I needed more design skills, design basics. You know, if you go to college, you'll be able to learn about composition and design theory more so than just how to use Photoshop. So we've got this cool thing going on now. So I'm gonna hit save. I'm gonna go back to this file. We're gonna cut this guy out. And I've told people that before. Like I've gone back to my colleges and said hi. And when I was at the University of Dayton, I was chatting with one of my professors, and they were talking to someone who I think was looking at going to that community college. And honestly, going to that community college helped me out more because I knew more about the programs than other students who were in my program. Mainly because when you go to the school I went to is humanities school. So they like require you have to take specific classes. Like you have to take science, you know, you have to take psychology, you have to take math classes. That's because they basically want well-rounded students regardless of what you do. So when I went in there as a junior, essentially, I was coming from a community college where I had spent 2 years only doing design, essentially. You know, I took, you know, math classes and whatever, and some of those transferred over. But I was ahead of people in knowing how to use Photoshop and Illustrator. And stuff like that. Would you not have a degree lock you out of graphic design jobs? It's 100% a case by case. Garrett's right. I will say it's hard to say, actually, because I would say there's a small group of people who don't have degrees at all. I know there's people who don't have design degrees, like Dan, who just left, doesn't have a design degree. He's just artistic and stupid for it. There's only a couple people that I know of that are working full-time in sports without a college degree completely. And they're really good at what they do. So if you're really good at what you do, then, you know, there might be some spot that will take a chance on you. Like the people who come to my mind is Jay Clay, who works at Fox Sports now, works at Turner in Atlanta. He got a job working at UConn straight out of college, or not straight out of college, straight out of high school. So he didn't go to college. I don't think Dan Goldfarb went to college either, and he's working for the Panthers. So part of it is your portfolio will speak for itself. Part of it depends on who's in charge. Now, they might think you don't have a college degree, we don't need to pay you as much, so you need to know your worth. And there might be people down the line who want you to have a college degree. Again, it's case by case. I went to college and it worked out for me, and I learned a ton going to college. There is a big, it depends on who you are. If you can't afford to go to college, that's a different thing. There's definitely a burden of this thing called debt that's an issue. So I understand why the question is there. Now, and then I know there's kids who are in high school, like Thatcher Mac, who is doing freelance projects and they're in high school. So again, it's case by case. Usually, though, you have to be really good or land an opportunity where someone doesn't care that you don't have a college degree. Dean, what do you have a... Now, you don't have a degree in design, but you do like UI and like coding stuff, don't you? Which is sort of design related, but not really. What's up, Kevin? The Toppin PC is going along pretty well. They had Prism. You guys don't know anything about sports cards, so Prism is coming out soon, and that is like the coup de grace of sports cards. It's what people call, like, this is the official rookie card for people. They released some cards today, first off the line, that are $4,500 to $2,000 a box. So we cut this guy out. I'm gonna have to make some tweaks to this. This is why I like to cut this stuff out beforehand, so I can spend a lot of time doing it. But I appreciate you guys also hanging out with me here. Oops. So again, if you hold down the Option key and click on a layer mask, you can use a brush set to overlay at low opacity, and it'll help clean up some of these gray spots that you might not want. And I can boost up some stuff here. Looks pretty good. See, that's a whole different area too, Darian, is getting a green card. Shoot. Let me save this out. This is in Photoshop. We want to replace that. Should be saving. Yeah, Tyson's been designing for Topps for years, actually. So it's no surprise. This isn't doing what I want, so I'm going to save this here. I'm going to right click. I'm going to replace these contents and do Chase like that. And the background should disappear. There. Great. That's a problem up here. We're gonna fix that anyway. The Voodoo filter, it's for Voodoo. It's for Chris Johnson. The crazy filter that nobody should ever use. I have it in there as a joke. If you want your answer, this is my Adobe Toppin PC. My card collection, and you mentioned Tyson. So like here's one of Tyson's cards. I got a bunch of his cards. I like supporting other sports designers. Okay, so what do we want to do now? So we've got our glass, we've got Chase here. I'll link these together. Are these all gonna move now? There we go. So I've got Chase here looking over to the side. We've got this Claypool. So I might have him down here running, something like this. Maybe a little bit smaller. But we need something in the background here, or something in here to differentiate these. And that's the question. That's the question. What do we want to put there? First thing I'm going to do, actually, I'm going to duplicate this, toss it up to the front, get rid of the effects. I'm gonna highlight that color. Well, actually, I'll just put this down here. So I'm gonna match this yellow. As you can see, this yellow on this Claypool is different. So the way I like to correct that is use a selective color layer, go to the yellows. I know I need to add more magenta to make it that color. And maybe take away some cyan. Really just depends on how much you want to blow it up. If I take away yellow, that's always bad. Let's add yellow, add more magenta. Zoom back out. That's better. I like that warm yellow. I think it looks better. Let's see here. So I've got him here. He's just floating here, though. Maybe you want him to just float there and do nothing with that. Usually what I would do on something like this, let me turn this back on. Throw this behind Chase here. And just blow this up. So like I had like this idea of doing some sort of like what is it called? Double exposure technique. But I don't think that's gonna pan out. I'm gonna delete that. I have this. This is good. Let me hide this. So I can blow this up. The issue with this is this photo's not great, as you can see up top. And I just really like only using really nice photos. And this is where design can take a while, is to figure out what else we want to put on here. I want him to be standing on something because I don't like it when they're not standing. Let's add a little bit of a light source to this. Technique, I don't know how that I make everything at 2000 by 2500 at 300 DPI. I save it out. I save for web. I don't know if that has anything to do with it. I save for web. I either do a ping or a JPEG file, set to 100%. I hit save, throw it on my desktop, and then I airdrop it to my phone, and then I post it. That's what I do. So I don't know what process other people do that causes the compression. Mine seem to work fine. The Pittsburgh Bridge is a very good idea. Actually, let me see. Heinz? Let's see if I have Heinz Field in here anywhere. I know I have Heinz Field somewhere. It's just a matter of this thing called stealing stuff from stuff I already made, which is what we're going to do. So I'm going to go, because I spent a ton of time on it, I don't even know where it is. Maybe it is on here. What should be my next tutorial, Bradley? Alex, the easy answer is no. If someone... Is there a good way to use low quality images in design? No. Not really. I mean, it's like cooking. If someone gives you bad ingredients, the meal's not going to be good. It's how it works. They need to provide you with better photos. It's really what it is. Sorry, I'm looking for a graphic. I'm looking for this graphic. I don't know where it is. I mean, I can show you how I airdrop stuff. I mean, I'm on a Mac, so all I do is I save it out to my desktop. It's right here. Here it is. And then I go to AirDrop. And then my iPhone pops up and I just click and drag and go boom. And then it's on my phone. So it's right here on my phone. And then I just upload it. So that's what I do. I don't know what I don't know what other people do. People with PCs, they can't do that. So I don't know the best way, if emailing something is good or not. I don't know how other people do it. You can try and use Gigapixel. But it's up to you. It's too easy for Apple, right? I mean, that's one thing. Like, people are like, oh, they're expensive. There's a lot of continuity that you get with it. Dropbox would probably work. I think part of it is just how you get it to your phone. Slack seems like it would be a good idea. Anything where you put it, basically when you upload it and download it, save it out as a ping file then, because maybe there's some compression with the JPEG. I don't know where this graphic is that I made. Actually, I bet I know where it is. I need to sacrifice something though, because I have a Mac and I don't have any USB ports.